Hey, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me. Hopefully, everybody had a lovely weekend. Let's remember why I'm here. I'm here to give you an advantage when you trade the market, whether it's today, whether it's a longer term trade, something to that extent. I'm going to share my knowledge. I'm going to share information. I'm going to break down and simplify it for you. I'm going to talk about some stocks. If you have some questions, you can put it on the sidelines. And then again, somebody said when Romeo made a posting over the weekend, why does someone want to help each other? Why are we here to help? And the whole reason is, why would I rather laugh at you like some people do on Twitter, okay, or call people clowns and things of that nature? I want to improve the average retail trader's trading skills. That's why I'm here, to improve your skills, to give you knowledge, to help break down the market so you understand why it's going up, even though there's a war going on. We're entering recession. People are getting fired, et cetera, et cetera. Interest rates are going up. With that said, let's just bring it right away. Let's talk about the SPY this morning. Let me just get that on the screen. Where's the SPY here? Here we go. All right, so we're sitting 411.90. I bet we sit at 411.80, something like that. But let's zoom out. So I got the 2-hour chart up. What's the 2-hour chart do? It brings us back about 6 weeks. Understand, we've been trading a very, very tight range for the past 2 weeks, from that $400 level to that 414 level. So what have I been saying? I call this consolidation. All right. It doesn't mean we're consolidating to go higher. We could be consolidating to go higher or consolidating to go lower. Now, here's something I noticed looking at the 2-hour. I'm looking at, we've had inflow. When we do have an outflow day, it's pretty substantial volume. All of these red outflow days are greater volume than the inflow days. They're happening sporadically. So what are we doing? The market's fading higher. It's fading higher because it has no reason to drop. Remember, most of big money and institutions and holding companies in the market are long the market. They're not short the market. So when you see all these analysts come on CNBC from whatever companies they're at, they're all holding long positions. It's not like there's a major bank or institution that is holding a short position or 100% short, or, so understand what's going on in the market to that magnitude. So people are expecting, it's going to sell off. We're going to SPY 360. Understand, for that to happen, you have to have the 5 major banks start telling their clients they're going to sell positions, and there would be a frenzy to sell positions, and the market would drop, and the algorithms would take over, and you'd see like a ridiculous drop in the day. So anybody that thinks it's going to happen, no. Generally, we've seen since the beginning of this year, it's a buy the dip mentality. Now, lately, it's been a stock picker's market, meaning we're trading a very narrow range. However, some stocks have been up 15%. Some stocks have been down 15%. So it's a stock picker's market. I'm going to talk about a couple of different stocks this morning. I already have some charts out here that I'm going to show everybody. So stick with me. We're going to get into the stocks. But first, let's talk about what the heck is going on in the market and what's going to influence the market. So first, what do we have this week? Big earnings this week. 42% of the S&P companies are going to be reporting. So when you see us trading a very narrow, tight range, understand everything is going to be dependent on earnings. So you're looking for a top line beat, a bottom line beat, and good forward expectations. Okay, good forecasting. Those are going to be the 3 main components for every company that has earnings this week. And again, 42% of the S&P reporting. So what's likely to happen? Well, I spoke about the SPY consolidating. So if earnings continue to beat, and understand earnings year over year have dropped like 27%, but earnings are beating at an average of 6%, meaning analysts reduced their earnings estimate. It's the only thing that makes sense. If earnings estimates were the same as last year, same, and we're missing by 27%, then everybody would be missing on earnings. So that's the whole thing. Analysts drop their targets for various companies based on the fact that we're in recession, based on the pandemic, based on shipping constraints, based on whatever it is, supply chain issues. But understand, 6% is the average beat, which is pretty strong, which is why you see them buying the dip. However, this week, again, 42% of S&P companies. I mean, we got all the big players coming out this week. Next, big oil is set to report their earnings, I believe, on Friday. Now, it's crazy about big oil because I've been hearing their earnings are going to crush it yet again because oil's been so strong. But understand, cooler oil prices in the first quarter will reflect on second quarter earnings for some of these oil companies. So do not be surprised if earnings pop for these oil companies if you see the large positions start to exit and take profit, and you see a rotation from oil into healthcare, from oil into banking, whatever it's going to be. So understand that's what I'm assuming. Again, that was the Weibo post. Bed Bath and Beyond, yeah, they can't find a buyer liquidating. Don't get involved with that stock, okay? I understand you can see the stock push from like 17 cents to 34 cents, 100% return, then dropping back down. It's a great time to short, something like that. Please do not get involved with Bed Bath and Beyond stock. They're going to feel a ton of hurt, and I would hate for you guys to get involved. With that said, here's a great one. The top 20 largest stocks in the S&P 500 have driven the latest price rally since the beginning of the year. Their price to sales ratio is above the dot-com bubble. So here's the dot-com bubble. Hopefully you guys can see the chart. Understand, it means the market is so inflated. So as I showed everybody, and I brought it up before when I shared it, let me just see if I can share it again. Boom. What are we looking at? The SPY. We're looking at a 2-hour chart, so we're going back 6 weeks, okay? Every major spike in volume has been an outflow day, has been people selling into this market, okay? Understand, what do we do in other days? Smaller volume, fading higher. So please, when I talk about looking at volume, when you first look at the market, I'm not doing anything. We'll talk about my strategy for today, okay? I'm not doing anything till 10 a.m. 10 a.m. First thing I do, right? First thing I do is I look at the SPY. I look at the daily range. Okay, we've only moved 1.5 points in either direction. It's still a very tight range. Then I look at the volume. If the volume is under 10 million, 6, 7, 8, 9, I know it's an extremely light volume day. What can happen on a light volume day? Big market movement. So we fade higher on a light volume day, and then you see a massive drop, okay? So understand, those are the market makers. That's market manipulation. Oh, I'm disappeared for a second. Okay, I'm back. Anyway, so that's kind of what I'm seeing here. We're pretty frothy. If not, you guys can still hear me. We've got Microsoft, Alphabet, which is Google, Amazon, Meta, Snap, Pinterest, Spotify, Roku, Intel, McDonald's, Chipotle, Coca-Cola, Pepsi, Visa, MasterCard, Verizon. I'm paying special attention to Visa. I want to hear if they're saying anything about delinquencies from their consumers not paying their bills. ExxonMobil, Chevron Friday, Caterpillar, Boeing. I'm interested to see what's Boeing because I've got Boeing on my watch list. Why? If Boeing earnings and if Boeing has a strong week heading into earnings, I'm seeing 218 on Boeing for the top side. Here's the catch. If Boeing has shitty earnings, Boeing disappoints, they claim more manufacturing errors or something to that extent, boom, I could see Boeing dropping to like the 189, 188 range. Yeah, big significant drop. 3M, American Airlines, GE, interested in GE, and I think we have UPS out tomorrow. So ton of there. What else? Let me just see. That's not that interesting. All right, key events this week. What is important and what will drive the market? Well, I already said earnings. You're looking for before market, after the close when companies report earnings. Again, top line beat, bottom line beat, or bottom line miss. And then you're looking at the forecasting. But key events wise, consumer confidence data is dropping on Tuesday. New home sales dropping on Tuesday. New home sales. Q1 GDP dropping on Tuesday, not Thursday, but this is all dropping Tuesday. So what is it telling me already about today? Today is going to be a light volume day. Why? Because we have so much data dropping tomorrow. We just had the weekend. The market is trading a very tight range on low volume. It keeps fading higher. Anytime we see heavy volume, the market drops. That's what you're noticing. Those are things that you should be paying attention to. When I showed you that chart on the SPY, again, you want to notice that on just average days, we're fading higher. But any heavier volume days, we're seeing a nice drop in the market, a pullback. So they're selling into spikes. All right. That's GDP on Tuesday. What's next? Okay, March PCE on Friday. Mega caps are reporting all week. 15% S&P companies reporting. Yeah, I already mentioned that. Next, I'm looking at shelf volume. What the hell is this dude talking about shelf volume? You hear me talking about the dark pool level. So let me bring up, and I make mention of Discord because you need to, if you're trading and you're an average Joe trading this market, you need to have the insight Okay. The advantage is that everybody else does. Now you see people on Twitter, hey, I watched the flow, I followed the flow, I just made X, Y, Z money on whatever option it is. Understand, when they talk about following the flow, they're actually talking about following the flow. Let me add it to the stream so you can see what we have. Now, I don't really use the heat flow, okay? But the heat flow is there. So you're looking at Apple, you want to see the breakdown of where all the contracts are. So you're like, okay, Apple 150s, here we go, 600,000. Oh, here's a 2 million at a 155. Okay, we're bearish at 165. So there's kind of resistance right in this level. So I'd be watching right in between. We break 165, you're lucky to see resistance. You come find support 160, 155. Apple has a ton of value right here. Oh, even here, 3.1 million, 165. So there are a ton of tools. Hopefully you guys are looking at this with me. Thank goodness. Sometimes I talk and I don't have it up. But let's talk about it. So heat map for what else does someone do? Gold. So someone's seeing which direction heavy players are betting gold. Heat map for the SPY. Okay, so we can see where all the calls and the puts like. Okay, well, we know the calls lay at 410 because 410 has been major support. Oh, here's a new one at 415. Early expiration, right? Expiring 424 today. So we know they're heavy in the 415s that expire today. What can I see? I'm definitely going to see a pop in the market. So if I'm in calls right now, I'm expecting a pop on open and then possibly a dip later on today. Okay, SPY, dark pool level. Oh, shit, looks pretty bullish to me. Why would you say that? Because they're paying the ask. When they're paying the ask, they're bullish. Now, I'd be bullish at 410.64 as well. 412 is more of a hit or miss. So, again, no judgment yet. Algo flows for the SPY. I thought I did a chart here. There's mine. Here we go. So dark pool level for the SPY. So what are we expecting today? Dark pool level. Pay attention. If you have a pen, write it down. First thing we're going to do is look at 415, very small dark pool level. 414, 16. Okay, 414, 16, above 2 points where we are now. So half a percentage higher. Okay, so if the market goes up, understand the next level higher is a ghost zone. So when we finally have that day after consolidation and we break higher, and you see us break 414, I don't think it's happening today, then 418 is the next number followed by 422. Okay, that's your bull 1 week, 2 week prediction. Earnings coming good, yeah, you're going to see 418. Earnings continue to come in good later week, you're going to see 422. Again, I'm a bear, but I understand to play both sides. You can't just say I'm a bear, or else I'd be getting my ass handed to me day in and day out. Okay, on the way down, we have 412.92. Closer to like 413, I guess. It's one of the larger levels until we get to that 410 or just under 410, 409.21. So when people say, hey, man, the market's going to bounce at 410, now you know why. If it's going to bounce today, it's going to bounce at 410.45. If we drop to 410 or below, people will think we're going down. But if we drop hard below 410, I think the market's going to find support at 409. So if I'm in puts and we see a drop at any point during the day and we were like 409.42 and some people are like, yeah, we're going down to 405. No, at 409.42, I'm going to sell all of my puts, whether I'm in Tesla, Amazon, Apple, doesn't matter. And that's if I am in puts. Again, I have no decision made until I start trading. Let's see. There are a couple other things I might have wanted to mention. We'll see. And then I'm going to talk about a couple of stocks and I'm going to show you guys what I'm looking for in stocks. So first, when you follow someone, and this is a posting I made over the weekend, when you follow someone, when you watch me in the morning, again, is my opinion. If you're following 8 other people and you're following them on Twitter or a different service, be cautious because understand responsibility. You enter into your own trades, you exit out of your own trades. Now, you could definitely open your ears. When I'm going to start talking about stocks, and if the market continues to go up, which stocks I'm expecting to spike, you could take that with a grain of salt. You could be like, okay, I'm adding some stocks to my watch list because I know if the market is strong over the next 2 weeks, that this stock has a reason to push higher. Okay. I know that if the market throws up on itself over the next 2 weeks, yeah, and I'm smiling because I definitely think that's a possibility. But again, every time this year, all they've been being told is buy the dip, buy the dip, buy the dip. Hedge funds, holding companies, large institutions, they're all long the market. They might tell you otherwise, but they're long the market. So I can be a bear, but I can expect the market to go up. I know it's stupid, even though we're having war now. China is told the French consulate that they don't recognize the cities in Russia that broke away. They don't recognize them as their own states. So, and they're saying that because they're basically setting it up for how they feel about Taiwan. But okay. Yeah, here's the thing. So everybody says, oh, who wants 1,000% banger, right? I made a comment like that over the week. Everybody wants 1,000% banger. You give me a stock and you tell me to buy options and it's going up 1,000%. Man, I will worship the ground you live on. However, people are like, yeah, give me a thumbs up. You give me 100 thumbs up, you're going to get that 1,000%. What a bunch of bullshit. Understand, you need to grow your account. There are so many days that I didn't trade recently where I felt so good about not trading a dangerous market because it's risk versus reward. If you're trading every day, and I used to be guilty, I remember that one week I traded 256 times. The next week I traded a total of 12 times, and I was much more successful the week I traded 12 times rather than 256. I mean, I was calling every market turn, every direction, the 1 minute, et cetera, et cetera. Okay, so interesting. I took this from Trend Spider, right? He's showing Apple, and he's showing a double top on Apple, which is a rising wedge, which could show a drop, or Apple's going to break through. Again, if we break through, and so many stocks are like this, but if the top 20, stocks that are driving the market, but there's so many that are at their double tops that if we break north, yeah, we're going to see 418, 422, 430. However, what's more likely to happen, and here's where you get into the psychology of the market's not going to drop out of the sky. It's been buying the dip ever since the year started. So even if we have a dip, and I want to draw this out for you, even if we have a dip, you have to understand the market psychology. It'll be bought up. We'll see another dip. It'll be bought up. It's going to struggle before it drops, before it finally has that one day, because you're going to have your time to get in. It's going to struggle, and you're going to see something like that. You're going to see they want to sell off the market. The market wants to be. That's your bear case scenario, okay? That's what I envision happening. It's like, oh, dip. Oh, we're going to sell off. And the next day we spike back. And you're like, what the F? We were just selling off. It made sense. Now we're spiking back. So that's why I'm telling people, please secure your profits. I expect a ton of choppiness. All right. So back to Discord real quick, because I saw someone mentioning something about Tesla. So let me just show you what I see on Discord. So let me go back. I looked up some of the flow and algorithms. So here's your net flow of the market. Well, it looks kind of top heavy here. The green is, can you guys see this? It's not loading up all the way yet. Now it's freezing on me. What the F? All right. You can kind of see it, but you can kind of see it bubbling, hopefully. Point is, you can see the green, the cost for the calls is skyrocketing. We haven't seen it this high on the chart. The market price in white is going up. The cost for puts is still at a diagonal. It's still going up. So, okay, so we got that picture. Then I looked at the algo flow, and I'm like, okay, well, there's a match. So there's no bearish divergence or bullish divergence. If one of these lines, the green line was at the top and the yellow line was at the bottom, I would say, okay, there's a divergence. They're going to meet somewhere in the middle. There is no divergence as of yet. So I look at the premiums for stocks, premiums versus stocks for the SPY. I'm like, okay, holy shit, calls are expensive. Puts did spike. We still are on an upward angle, and the price of the SPY is up here, so I'm expecting it probably at a trade range trade. So anywhere from 411. Again, I'm going to look for support on the SPY using the dark pool levels, but I wanted to mention top bullish and bearish flows. What does this mean, Matt? What the hell are you looking at? It looks pretty. It looks easy to follow, but I don't understand it. It's telling you the top bullish flows and the top bearish flows. So I know that if I'm going to make a trade on a tech stock, I'm probably going to trade Amazon or Meta today. Why? Because I know there'll be a lot of volume, a lot of volatility. So I'm not going to have to pay more on my bid or ask on entry or exit. Again, dark pool levels of the SPY. So we've been trading a tight range. This is where the part of the live stream where I come up with my prediction before I actually talk about stocks. But dark pool levels for the SPY. So right now the SPY is sitting at, I'll guess, 411.80 because we're pre-market. Where's the SPY at? Oh, 412.10. Okay, so we're still a little down. So let's just say we open flat, 412.10. Well, I already mentioned that I think we're going to get a spike at some point this morning so that if the market is going to drop, people are going to get out of their bullish positions. So again, and I showed that with, let's just go back here. The heat map. Okay, well, I showed it with the heat map. I'm not going to pull up the heat map again because we'll bring up the SPY. So where would it likely reject? Well, if it go up, I'm expecting us to reject 414.16, okay? And if we get over to 412.92, that would be my first look for rejection. So as I pull up the SPY and I seeing it sitting at 412.20 where we closed it yesterday, I'm going, okay, 413, because 412.92 is pretty close to 413. So if we spike to 413 and it rejects, I know that's the dark pool level kicking in. If we double top at 413, then I know that might be a rejection signal. If we trade a small range, then we're going down 2.5, 3 points. We're going from 413 back to 410. That's just in my mindset. That's how I'm going to trade the market. If we go up to 414 and we reject 414, the dark pool level, which would make sense because, again, you have a dark pool level 414 and 16 cents. All right. After that, you have a ghost zone all the way to 418. So understand, if the market is going to be bullish today and they're just going to buy, you're looking at 418 topside. You want to risk it. You want to call yourself a bull. Then, yeah, buy the 415 calls out of the gate. If we hit that 418 number, you're going to be a miracle. You know, it'll have a lot of money. I'm a bear. I'm looking for rejection. I know a lot of people hate that I trade like that. But again, I don't like to trade the first hour of the market, and that's where the most action takes place. Now, there was a study that came out, and I'll bring this up real quick because a lot of you are option traders, and a lot of you hold your positions too long. So let me just see if I have a picture of the study. Hopefully I do. If not, I'll basically tell you that when you enter into an options trade, you generally make most of your money in the first I was hoping I had it. I don't have it. I have a picture of my girls though. Okay. Anyway, when you enter into an options trade, you make most of your money within the first 10 to 15 minutes. Meaning you call the perfect entry, or you call, hey, I know it's going to move up or down in the next 5, 10, 15 minutes. And you're generally right. Now, what the problem is, people just don't take their profit. They're like, whoa, I was right. I'm in a position. It's up 20, 30, 36, 42%. They're calling it out. They're calling their mother, hey, that latest play, man, I got in, and it's 42%. It's 11 minutes in. If it continues like this, I'll be at 400%. By the time they're done doing that, they're back to flat. Then their options are red, and they're like, oh, I still like this position. Let me buy some more contracts, right? And then the option position goes down. So now your first position is down 15% or 30%. Your second position is down 15%, and you could have took 41%. So make sure you take that money. All right, what do we got, Obi? Obi, need money. Hope Tesla is bullish. It is dangerous. Yeah, okay. So let's talk about certain stocks, okay? Because if there was one stock that I wouldn't get involved with right now, it's Tesla. Because I've heard people throw out different numbers on Tesla, and it could definitely drop. Meaning, if you wanted to be bullish technology, I would be bullish Google, okay? Google, I've seen some heavy inflow, some heavy call playing on Google. I'll give you certain stocks that are on my watch list, and I think Tesla's there. The first one is CA3, which is AI, right? Artificial intelligence. It got hammered, and downgrades started hitting, and it was only down 4%. It made the top of my chart. Remember, this is the stock that went up to $30, and I'm like, you could sell the spike on this one. Well, shit, it's not done selling the spike. The problem with this stock is options. The difference between the calls, the bids, and the ask, the spreads are really wide. So if you want to get into puts, you're paying up. You're paying the ask. You're paying damn close to the ask, and the spreads are wide. So if you buy the ask and then you sell at the bid, you're losing right there 12% on the way in and out. So top of my chart, I've got Costco because ripped higher. So I'm saying to myself, okay, Costco can either settle higher here, okay, or it could drop down to its pre 420 level, which was 496. So again, I'm watching Costco. Don't want to play Costco. It's extremely expensive. I've got Roku and Netflix up there. The SPY turned positive pre-market. So yeah, I mentioned I thought the SPY might spike to 413 or 414. I expect one of those two levels to reject. If 413 rejects, I think we see 409 and change. If 414 rejects, I think we see 410 and change. That's my strategy today. What else? I've got Apple up there, of course. I've got Sidus, SIDU. They did an offering. The company valuation, Sidus Spaces, their market cap is under 10 million. So it's on my short watch list, meaning I think one of these days it's going to have a major spike, and a major spike of like 20, 30%, maybe 50%. I don't know, whatever the squeeze is. Wouldn't surprise me. So it's on my list because I'm going to start adding a position, but not until I'm done. I know their offering is completely done. I've got Alibaba on the list. Why? Because I made a chart, two stocks, Alibaba and Goldman Sachs. First of all, Goldman Sachs gets bought every day. When it finally sells off, it's going to have another little pop and time to enter. The same is true with Baba. When Baba finally turns around, understand they've been selling Baba, and I'll show you Alibaba's 1 month chart. 1 month chart, sell, 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 sell. When it even looks to turn around, I'm going to make sure I see inflow for at least 2 days. And then I'm going to wait for it to bottom again. I'm going to wait for a double bottom. But these are all on my watch list. What else do we got on my watch list? I've got Wish. Wish was up 18% on Friday, $8.52. I still think it's going to double in value. So maybe a $16, $17 company. But I'm going to give it time. I think it's well. Can't see my picture. My internet probably sucks. Okay, so Tesla, looking at the 1 month Tesla. Now, again, if you're a bull Tesla and you're correct, you're going to crush it because Tesla's going to bounce. If the market bounces higher, Tesla's going to be back at 192. What? Up 25 points? Yeah, up 12%. That's your bull case scenario for Tesla. Now, if it drags lower, I mean, the last level of support, we're talking about like, January. I mean, you're talking about 130 range, something like that. Let's remember, Tesla went from $104, $108, all the way up above $200. What was it, 232 before it rejected? So Tesla's got a lot more openness to the valuation. If the market turns bearish, people are going to be like, Tesla's valuation is, and Tesla will go down. Okay, and you'll see it revisit the 130 something level, 138 level. If Tesla's bullish, yeah, you're going to see it pop right back to 192, 193, 194. We know that Riot, Coinbase, those stocks got beat up. So again, if the market stabilizes and pushes higher and it fades higher, and Bitcoin, I see Bitcoin's recovering and it's finding this, it's finding support with volume. What would I do? I would get into some Riot or some Coin, man. They're pretty beat up. Again, you need two things to happen. Crypto's got to recover with volume, and the market has to be stable with the Qs going higher. If either one does not happen, say the Qs take a bath and earnings are shit, but Bitcoin's going up, you know what, Riot, Mara, and Coin will still go down. So if the market's going down, those stocks will go down. That's as simple as that, even if Bitcoin and all that's going up. I was in Riot calls. I got entry last week. I sold pretty quickly for a loss. Again, I was looking for Riot to turn around because there was heavy volume, when the Bitcoin was pushing 32,000. So again, something on my radar, on my watch list. Las Vegas Sands. Again, I rode those calls up on Friday. I had some SPY calls on Friday. I had some SPY puts on Friday. Let's look at Roblox. No, I don't want to talk about that. Again, very interesting with Boeing. On the bullish Boeing. Boeing had a ton of outflow this past week. Okay, has stabilized, but again, the market drops. Boeing's going to 186. Boeing has shitty earnings. It's going to 186. It's going to lose 10% of its value. Okay, Boeing has good earnings. It's going back to 218 like that. And understand Boeing contributes, I think, 7% of the Dow. So if Boeing gets up to 218, the Dow is going to push higher and take a lot of those other stocks with it. All right, let's just see what kind of questions we got here. Any thoughts on UAL calls this week? You've got to check the dark pool levels for UAL. You've got to check what big money is doing. So I would use the flow sum to see where the net flow is. What would I see with UAL? So this is a short-term thing. On the downside, UAL, before it spiked up off those 3 days prior to earnings, was trading at $41. So my downside for UAL would be $41, which would be another 9% down. My upside with UPL is it's going to tackle the highs that it hit right after earnings, which are about $47. So you're talking about $3, you're talking about 8% on the upside. I don't know. Going to follow the Dow. Again, assuming the market doesn't throw up on itself, you have to follow the Dow versus the NASDAQ. If there's a rotation and people are strong tech stocks, then Dow stocks will struggle. Then UAL is not the place to be. If tech stocks struggling and there's still money in the market and they rotate over to Dow stocks, airlines, Carnival, cruise ships, banking stocks, hotels, Airbnb, those kind of companies, then that's what I'd be looking for if you want to be in a Dow stock UAL. I got to have all my watch list in the same area. So, Carvana, CVNA. Carvana is a tricky one. Again, I saw when there is volume there and what can make it spike. Again, Carvana is going to play on the market. I don't want to be involved with Carvana. I've seen 2 new stations, those vending machines put up in my area. And I'm like, I thought Carvana was struggling. How are these 2 new stations up there? So that's pretty crazy. I'm just want to look at the 5-day. Okay, so here's the problem with Carvana. Carvana has earnings May 4th. So I would not want to be in Carvana for earnings, but maybe you could ride Carvana from 8 back to the $10 range. Again, if the market is strong this week, Carvana will go to 10. If the market is shit this week, then I don't know. I mean, Carvana had some downside at $7 range, and if it goes to 7 heading into earnings, I'd be cautious. Yeah, what's up, Josh? Yeah, so tomorrow, people defaulting on credit cards yet. I don't think they're defaulting yet. I think they are so damn close to defaulting on their credit cards. But remember, we see it 3, 6, 9 months out, and then it takes it not time for them to write it off as bad debt, 3, 6, 9 months. So the whole thing with Visa is we might go into recession. People might be defaulting on credit card debts. Visa might be skyrocketing, okay? And it might not hit Visa until like the second quarter of 2024. And all of a sudden, the economy's back to normal, and Visa puts in for bad loans and a write-off of 18 billion, whatever it's going to be, okay? So that shit might not happen yet. Netflix, I'm short Netflix right now. God, I'm very scared because if the market does pop to 414, those, 3 Netflix puts right now. Last one I bought at $1. It closed at 90 cents. So you're expecting Netflix to give back. I'm expecting the Qs to give back. But I'm carefully watching earnings. No decisions until I hear about earnings. And again, no trading for me before 10 or 10:30 a.m. I need to see how the market develops. With that said, I'm heading over to Discord. I'm going to talk about the dark pool levels. I'm going to talk about the flow that I'm seeing, the net flow. And I'm going to mention a couple stocks that I'm looking at my watch list, at the top of my watch list, that I will probably trade today. I mentioned one of them earlier on the live stream, one of the top flows. So again, join me on Discord. Romeo's live trading today at, what time is he trading at? 11 a.m., right. So those that aren't willing to open the market at 9:30, and that's a new thing. He used to trade at 9:30. I like to wait. So maybe I'll be joining the live stream with him. Just listening, of course. I'd like to hear what he says. And we'll all kill it. Have a great day trading. If you like what I said, please, thumbs up. Not enough thumbs up. Everything's algorithm, so there are a lot of you here. Please just hit thumbs up. If you have to log in, thumbs up. And I'll join you on Discord.